My favorite part was this kind of stuff. I'd like to thank everybody. The bad audio, the
Yeah,
camera shots where you could only see their eyes. I
yeah,
loved that. The quality of the video was like, what? This is ESPN? Really? I mean, some of the
yeah,
Wi-Fi, they must be barely on dial-up in those places, man. That was some rough-looking
yeah,
stuff, but it was great.
yeah.
They pulled it
And
off.
the other thing that I wasn't intended to be funny, and it's not really funny, but it was just like how they kept hitting the same note is like, obviously a lot of these guys have had tragic backgrounds,
Oh
but
yeah.
these are like the happiest moments of these guys' lives. And they're like, one of them, I forget, like they brought up his mom was a severe addict for multiple years. It's like, all right, this guy is just possibly become a millionaire. And like, you're bringing it up like, some of the it's like if at your wedding someone's like, because you remember when you hit that guy with your car, you
Right.
never reported to the police. Like, what are we doing this on this moment? This is so bizarre.
And then Roger Goodell's basement where he was doing the skull chant and dancing and all the things he tried to do. It's like,
Well, this is the thing, and this is the thing. You bring up a good point. Roger Goodell, God love him for whoever wants to. The man has no personality.
nope.
The man is a complete has, and I'm not saying at one time he didn't, but after I guess years of trying to hone himself into becoming the commissioner or on his way to becoming the commissioner,
Right.
he stripped out each piece of his soul and like put it in a
sold
file
it.
cabinet and put it in a file cabinet. I don't know, but I'm saying if you remember David Stern in the NBA, like you could say what he wanted, but like Stern actually had a personality. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
legitimately had a personality, and maybe to be fair to Goodell, because I kind of see it with Silver too, even though he does have a sense of humanity. Maybe it'll go away in a few years. I don't know, but like for the NBA, but like with like with Stern, like when he got people to boo him, like he really actually relished it.
Yeah, he
where,
loved
like,
it.
Goodell's doing it for like because he thinks that humanity it like gives him some humanity, but actually it just more comes off as like he's a total automaton.
Well, you
Who was
remember,
constructed by the 32
or like Harry Potter, those Dementors that would take your soul away and put it. That's what happened to him maybe 2 or 3 times. They took his soul away. Mr. Goodell. Okay, local guys. Mekhi Becton went number 11, which we thought he was going to be the highest draft pick ever in the history of the University of Louisville, but no, Amobi Okoye was number 10 in 2007, and still, by the way, the youngest draft pick ever at 19 years of age. So what about Becton? That's pretty cool. Good for him. Go to the Jets.
Oh
What
yeah,
the heck?
no,
The Big
I
Apple?
think,
Let's go.
yeah, I think he'll be really good. It's just like he'll be given. The good thing about being drafted 11, even if he struggles the first few years, he's going to be given a long time to like really be like, all right, we're done with you. Like, but I think you like look at his size, you look at his athleticism,
his pedigree,
and you look at his arm length.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when his feet decline, which probably won't be for 10 to like 12 years or whatever, his arms are long enough. He'll still be able to like keep people off the quarterback. So like. And you look at the Jets, they want to run the ball with Le'Veon Bell. So like his strength is run blocking. He'll become better as a pass blocker in time. But they'll lean on his strength right now. So like I think he's in a good situation.
Were you surprised how far down the draft Lynn Bowden went?
No, just because he was announced for the Raiders as a running back. So and in a way, honestly, I guess last year he was a quarterback, but I mean, you saw how many pass attempts he had. He didn't really throw the ball.
But don't you see him being like a Randall Cobb light, the next kind of Randall Cobb, Swiss Army knife guy?
He'll be a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Oh no, they look again. We want to talk about another team that did well for the most part in the draft. The Raiders. They drafted Henry Ruggs, the wide receiver out of Alabama, who's pure speed, ran a 4.27, and then they drafted Lynn Bowden, and he'll be like you said, he'll be Randall Cobb. He'll be their slot guy. He'll be a gadget guy. He'll run end arounds. He'll run sweep plays. And then I'm blanking on the guy afterwards. They drafted a wide receiver afterwards, I believe, out of South Carolina. So, and essentially, and you saw that with a lot of teams. They knew their big weakness on offense last year is they had no wide receivers. Like they had none. Their best receiving options was their tight end Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs, the running back. So they just needed to completely overhaul their wide receivers, and that's what they did, just with one offseason. So, but no, I think it was good. I mean, I think it's still like good that he went in the third round. That tells you just how athletic he is,
the ability.
And to be fair to your point, if he would have got to truly play his position of wide receiver, he would have maybe got to be drafted in the second round. It was just because of the uniqueness of the situation last year. I think that was denied of him. So.
All right, where do you stand on this Jameis Winston to back up Drew Brees? Jameis to back up Drew Brees.
I think it's a slam dunk. I mean, you
look
at New Orleans. You look at New Orleans, like they did this with Bridgewater, and obviously there's a huge difference on why both these guys are essentially reclamation projects, Ted Bridgewater and Jameis Winston. Bridgewater mainly because of his injury in Minnesota, and just people didn't want to make him their starter. Well, it's obviously good to put him in a backup, and then you saw him in preseason play well, and then you saw it in games and play well, and then, it ended up working for Bridgewater, and now he's a starter with Carolina. Same thing with Winston. Hopefully he looks at it. He had a turnover issue, and hopefully being in this offense where usually you get to protect the ball a little bit more, I'm not going to say a lot, but Bruce Arians, let's just whip it out. I mean, that's what it is.
That Swiss cheese line, all the holes. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so it's
here's the backfield. Have the backfield. It's all yours.
He'll get to learn from Drew Brees, and again, it's a good place for him to go. Is there's a competition. He's just there to be a backup and hopefully to enhance his game and change it back around. So I think it's a huge win. I don't see why more teams don't do this. Because to be fair, if you're in the window to win, keep a little money so you can have a backup. I mean, again, you saw why and I'm not going to say this guy will work out. Did people that maybe give crap to the Eagles for taking Jalen Hurts?
Right.
I mean, the Carson Wentz has been injured in high school. He's been injured in college. He's been injured obviously
every step of the way. Yep.
The pros. So it's like you have to develop a backup, and then if you don't have to really use them, then you could trade them and flip them for picks. So like it's always a win to have a second quarterback. So and again, like with Aaron Rodgers, again, it might be a benefit because he'll be so pissed off that he's going to be so motivated, and he might have one of his best years in the last 6 years because he just wants to stick it to Green Bay, and it'll still benefit the Packers.
And we all know Aaron Rodgers can get pissed off. We know that. Hey, it's time for Wild Ass Predictions.
Go.
I got one if you don't.
I will say Denver Broncos will make the playoffs. Again, I didn't get to say their draft. Talk about their draft, but you look at what they did in the offseason, and then you added Jerry Jeudy, and then you added Hamler.
That's right,
from
Jeudy.
Penn State.
Yeah.
And then you add that to Corey Sutton, who was a Pro Bowl wide receiver. All of a sudden, you have Noah Fant, who started to come on last year, who's a first-round draft pick. Drew Lock, if he doesn't make it, it has nothing to do with what the Denver Broncos did. They have surrounded him with weapons upon weapons upon weapons.
Okay, here's mine. So I think this is right, and you'll find out. University of Louisville is the only school this next year to have 2 NFL starting quarterbacks, Lamar and Teddy. So here's my prediction. I may be wrong about that, but I'm going to ride that till the end. Yeah. We'll check with the intern staff. Okay, Teddy Lamar will go 1-2 in NFL MVP voting. I'm not saying Lamar, Teddy Lamar, just 1-2. That's my wild prediction.
Yeah. Well, good. We didn't get the hit on it. Carolina also had a great draft, I thought. So
yeah.
I think they could be back in the hunt. So yeah.
What else? What final thoughts on the big draft? Anything else just hit you that you love so much or hated or?
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, they won the rich get richer. That the Kansas City, Kansas City Chiefs got Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I know. Come on.
And some people, I get why some people don't feel he's the number one running back, and there's a legitimacy to that. But again, it always comes to fit. You look at what Kansas City likes to do. They like to have a guy out of the backfield who is an exceptional receiver. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire was probably the best receiver out of the backfield of any of these top-level running backs. So they got the best receiver out of the backfield. And you have all that speed around, vertically for Patrick Mahomes. And now you have this guy horizontally who they could just dump it off to and just obliterate people. So it's just
ridiculous. Dynasty in motion.
Yeah. And I do have a haiku.
Let it rip. Let's go with a haiku to close it out. Take it away. Right. Clear your throat. Here we go.
The Jordan Love, cannon-armed Aggie, poached round 1 by the Cheeseheads, owns Rogers side-eye.
Woo! Yes, sir. That's a great way to end this program. Sports and other stuff. Sponsored in part by First National Bank. Come as you are, bank from your car. At First National's convenient drive-through window. Everybody's doing it now, even with the mask on. So it's home of the time and temperature line. You just call and you'll hear the time and the temperature. So we are the Sport Weasels. We'll be back again next week. Be well, be safe. And Lugs will join us again, too. We'll find him wherever he is, lost at sea. I don't know. Stay safe, be well, and we'll all get through this together. So long.